there's something strange you start noticing if you look closely. Some of the smartest people you know are not rich. They read books, they think deeply, they understand the world better than most, and yet, financially, they're stuck. Meanwhile, someone less intelligent, less educated, sometimes even less disciplined, builds wealth. So what's going on? Because this is not about intelligence. In fact, intelligence can sometimes be the problem. In this video, we're going to break down why smart people stay poor, not because they lack ability, but because they fall into a different kind of trap, a more subtle one. Part 1. The overthinking loop. Smart people think that's their strength, but it can also become their biggest limitation. Because thinking easily turns into overthinking. Instead of acting, they analyze. Instead of starting, they prepare. Instead of moving, they wait for the perfect moment. They want clarity before action. They want certainty before risk. But here's the problem. Clarity comes from action, not before it. Less intelligent people often start faster. They make mistakes, they adjust, they learn in motion. Smart people, on the other hand, try to simulate everything in their head, and they get stuck in a loop. Think to doubt, to delay, to repeat. And while they're still thinking, someone else is already building. Part 2. The fear of looking stupid. There's another hidden cost of intelligence. Smart people are used to being right. They're used to being seen as competent, so they avoid situations where they might look inexperienced. Starting a business, they might fail. Creating content, people might judge. Trying something new, they won't be good at it immediately. And that's uncomfortable. So instead, they stay in environments where they already feel capable. Jobs where they are the smart one. Conversations where they understand everything. But growth doesn't happen there. Growth happens where you are uncertain, where you don't know what you're doing, where you risk being wrong. Less intelligent people often don't overprotect their identity. They're willing to look bad in the beginning, and that gives them an advantage because they enter the game faster. Part 3. The stability trap. Smart people are good at seeing risks. They can calculate downside. They can predict problems. And because of that, they often choose stability, a good job, a predictable income, a clear path. It makes sense. It feels rational, but over time, this creates a hidden cost. Because while they're optimizing for safety, they're avoiding leverage. They avoid starting something uncertain. They avoid investing in unknown opportunities. They avoid building something that could fail. And slowly, they build a life that is safe, but limited. Not because they lack ambition, but because they optimize for control instead of growth. Part 4. The knowledge addiction. This one is very common. Smart people love learning, books, podcasts, courses, YouTube. They consume information constantly, and it feels productive. It feels like progress. But there's a hidden trap here. Learning can become a substitute for doing. You watch another video, you read another book, you take another course, but nothing changes in your actual life because knowledge without execution doesn't compound. Only action does. At some point, more input stops helping and starts delaying. The question is no longer, what else do I need to learn? But what am I avoiding by learning more? Part 5. The linear thinking problem. Most smart people succeed in systems where effort equals results. School, university, corporate jobs. You study more leads till you get better grades. You work more leads till you get promoted. It's a linear system. But wealth doesn't work that way. Wealth is nonlinear. One idea can outperform years of effort. One asset can grow without your time. One decision can change your trajectory. But if your brain is trained to think linearly, you keep trying to solve nonlinear problems with linear effort, more hours, more work, more effort, and you miss leverage, you miss scale, you miss compounding. Part 6. The social environment. Smart people often surround themselves with similar people. Educated, analytical, cautious, which sounds good. But sometimes, everyone is thinking instead of doing. Everyone is discussing ideas. Few are executing them. And slowly, a culture forms. Let's analyze more. Let's wait. Let's be realistic. But Realistic often means staying within the same limits, because no one around you is breaking them. Environment matters more than intelligence. If you're surrounded by action, you act. If you're surrounded by hesitation, you hesitate. Part 7. The real shift, extended. So what actually changes everything? It's not becoming smarter. It's becoming more action-oriented, less perfect, more experimental, willing to look stupid, willing to fail publicly, willing to move without full clarity. Because in the real world, clarity doesn't come first, movement does. Think about it this way. Most people wait until they feel ready, but ready is usually just another form of fear, a way to delay discomfort, a way to avoid judgment, a way to stay in control. But nothing meaningful is ever built from a place of full control. Everything valuable starts messy, uncertain, imperfect. The first version of anything is always incomplete. The first video feels awkward. The first idea feels weak. The first attempt rarely works. But that's not a problem. That's the process. Because action creates feedback, and feedback creates direction, and direction creates momentum. And once you have momentum, things start to change. You stop guessing. You start seeing. You stop imagining outcomes. You start shaping them. This is the shift most people never make. They stay in preparation mode. They stay in learning mode. They stay in thinking mode. But the people who move forward, even slowly, begin to separate from the rest. Not because they are smarter, but because they are in motion. And motion over time compounds. Just like money, just like skills, just like confidence. Conclusion, extended. Smart people don't stay poor because they lack ability. They stay poor because they get trapped in their own strengths. They think too much. They protect their identity. They avoid risk. They consume instead of create. And slowly, without noticing, they build a life that looks intelligent, but doesn't move forward. But the moment they shift, from thinking to doing, from safety to leverage, from knowledge to execution, everything changes. Not instantly, not dramatically, but consistently. Because small actions, repeated over time, start to reshape reality. One step leads to another. One decision opens the next. One attempt builds the next level of clarity. And eventually, the same intelligence that once kept them stuck